Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be coming back with a new episode of the Spectating series. Now, just a disclaimer, this series has a lot of talking, a lot of tips, and since we haven't done one in a hot minute, I'm going to try to jam pack as much tips, information into this spectating episode as much as possible. Just in case you don't know the format, what we do is we make sure to stay alive as long as possible so we don't throw the round, but also once we get eliminated, we spectate to the end. We're actually going to do 2 rounds of this, kind of going back to the original format. But again, we're going to be jam packing a lot of tips. I feel like a lot of us have kind of forgotten some of the fundamentals, and I want to get back to that. The beauty here is we're going to be playing Vantage, we're going to do it in E-District, and let's just get right into it. Appreciate all of you guys for being here. So some of the biggest tips is that everyone still seems to drop hot for some reason. And if you do, you want to be very aware of your surroundings. Like, I'll give you an example of dropping. So we know one team's with us, there's one team here, there's one team here, and it's important to know where teams are just for the flow of the lobby. And of course, whenever you drop, most of that kind of just feels like a quick TDM. Essentially, your goal is to get as quick of a loadout as possible. So I'm going to land on the bins on the far right over here. We know one team is contesting. Let's take a look at what's going on around us. And then essentially, all you have to do is just win right off drop. So this person dropped pretty close to me. Oh gosh, that guy is so low. So I'm going to shove this. I'm kind of by myself, but... Okay, we got one. Like I said, it's like TDM essentially, you know? No! See, we get another teammate to come help out. They're low, they're flush, both of them. The altar coming up is low. See if they find him. Uh-oh. Nice. Rezzing on my ping, last one on my ping. You can probably finish him before he rezzes. On my ping. Oh, that's unfortunate, good try. Keep with the positive reinforcement. That's another thing, you know, just keeping good comms and keeping positive reinforcement as much as possible. It's pretty key. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go for armor swap here. And then I'll be pretty much healed up on that front. And then I'm just going to heal up and look. And just hold. Okay, so we see one all the way over there. So I'm going to do is I'm going to take an angle over here. Now, we should be safe and we shouldn't get third-partied right away. I do have my ult excel, but I'm going to save it because I'm going to go for the ult excel perk instead. Now, I don't want to get too caught out, so I'm going to keep syringing because I don't really know where they're at. I know they were down below. And we got a 3v2. Oh, there he is. There's one right there. 43. Not bad. Uh-oh. Gotta move up, gotta move up. I'm gonna go for the flank. Hopefully it doesn't get eliminated by the time I get there. That's unfortunate. I'm just gonna queue on that. There's one knock. I'll just hold for a second. I do need resources. Hopefully he's got a different gun because I'm almost out of ammo. That works. I hear somebody opening that. That was my teammate, and we're pretty much good. We're chilling. That means it's probably underneath, probably. Oh, there he is. Found him. And that was it. Now, this fight did take a little long, right? Just FYI. My aim's a little wonky. So it's good to warm up. I did warm up a little bit, but the reason why it's a little strange is because I'm using a different mouse pad right now. Because if you know, I did a review on the Logitech Superlight 2 decks, and unfortunately, I don't know what Logitech did. This is for all my Logitech mice. They struggle on what I use, a Yal Iposon. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing that right. Glass pad, and it just doesn't track well on it anymore. It seems like he's spinning out. Now I'm using the Asus Moonstone instead, which is, I mean, I've used it before, but I just don't feel as comfortable on it. So. In case anybody's using a Logitech mouse out there, let me know if you're experiencing any troubles or any difficulties. I'm kind of curious. It could just be me, because I don't know of a lot of people that own that glass pad specifically, and I don't even know a lot of people who use the Asus Moonstone specifically. So we need to do, taking height is always essential. This fight took way too long. If this was a Diamond Plus lobby, we probably would have been third in. But realistically, there was nobody nearby because we knew there was a team here. Probably, oh, there they are. So that's why we knew we were safe. So that's a really good tip, is that you always need to kind of check your surroundings, check height, look around. We know one there. We can rotate into zone. If you go too far into zone, another issue you run into is that you don't know what's around you. If you're playing a recon legend, this is really helpful because you kind of can get the flow of the lobby. Essentially, I'm holding on to that. I'm hoping for R301 essentially, but otherwise this loadout works for me. Be comfortable with what you got. Don't stress out too much about loadouts. A lot of people get too hung up on looting. It's okay right now because we're kind of slowing things down after that fight, right? Giving your teammates just a little bit of comms can be really, really helpful, even if it's not, you don't feel like it's a whole lot. A little goes a long way. It's such as, like, for example, me just calming and saying a few things like they're low, don't worry, you can get them. it does change things, you know? That does make a pretty big difference in the long run. So try not to withhold information from your teammates, you know? They're there to help. Even if it seems like your teammates are bad, they're there to support you best you can. So little things. Even if you're trying to get information on where you believe somebody's located, or whether or not you're with them. I'm not with you guys right now. I'm going to come over. Give me a second. Just little positive reinforcements really go a really long way. So just keep those in mind when you're playing. And if you get frustrated, like nobody can read your mind, okay? And nobody's able to just flat out know what you're thinking, what you're trying to say. So being mindful of that and supportive is always really, really key. So I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this next recon. The zone's probably going to pull energy or city hall. I'm not really sure which. It's a 50-50 pull at the moment. You can try to guess the zones as best as possible. Having a good eye for that is also kind of key. You know, at least you're making an effort. The worst thing that can happen is that you're wrong. I always encourage just trying to make a guess on what the play is going to be. Try to keep up with your teammates. If they're slow down your pacing, but then move forward. That's another great tip. Because I know people are like, what if my teammates are too slow? Well, then that's okay too. Just, you know, move up ahead and encourage them to fight. You know, that's all you can do. And if they don't reciprocate, well, then trust me, if you do damage, your teammates will listen. They're going to want to fight. They're going to want to do something. So just keep that in mind. Grab one. Grab one more. Okay, well, he dropped all of it. It's fine. Well, we got our guns. Wouldn't mind like a 3 times. So with that, we could go to a draft point, and I don't know if they'll be there still, but it's worth a shot to kind of rotate in. Now, playing edge isn't bad. You know, the biggest thing if you're playing center zone, then you want to kind of bully your way out. So I'll give an example looking at the map. If you're playing center and you're holding here and you think it's going to hold here because the zone, let's say, pulls there, you still want to branch out and then fight if you're playing ranked and then kind of bully your way around. If you're playing edge and you want to work your way in, and then I call it like a swirly pattern, then you want to cross out your edges so you're not just getting surprised all the time. So you're not just running to the center into just the abyss and you don't know what's happening. Now, if you have a well-coordinated team, that could be a strat just by constantly fighting. And that's not a bad thing either. I think the biggest thing that I'm telling you guys is that you need to kind of formulate a plan. I'm just giving you some options of what you can do so then you can, you know, essentially play better. All right, these guys are pretty loaded. They got, oh, well, we are as well. We got 2 purples. What I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to create an opening. I got multiple sniper bullets here. Vantage is not ideal for this map, mostly because there's a lot of cover on this map. 50 if I hit him again. Let's move forward. The shots. Wow, okay, well, I suck at that. I didn't think they were going to land some of those shots. Now, we do have to worry about a team over on this side, probably, because there was a team neon square that's going to be moving in. That's something to be mindful of. Most of these fights at lower MMR, even though, like, these are probably mostly, you know, Plat players are getting shot from somebody else. You gotta move up. As soon as you do damage, the best thing to do is to move up. I was just gonna see if we can land a follow-up shot. Yeah, we just need to be careful for this side. And they were getting shot from a charge rifle. We don't have... Maybe we have a charge rifle? I guarantee they're panicking and they kind of ran. I don't have information. When you don't have information, that's when you can slow down a fight, right? Just make sure you're using cover. You see, like, this is... Oh, shoot. What the hell? Oh, hello. They're all just hiding in there. And they're going underneath. Awareness of your teammates. My teammates didn't push. I was kind of thinking about pushing, but then they didn't, so that was interesting. I'm just there for cleanup, essentially. I'm gonna let the other team push them. Why don't I see anybody? Yeah, they're fighting somebody else over there, I think. Just missing. Whiffing. Whiff City. Wow, I suck at this game today. Whatever. Let's just move forward. Don't judge me. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Range pressure is all about just taking shots and trying. If you don't try, then what was the point? That's why you have ammo, right? On the right? Nope. Nice. Watching left. I didn't drop with them because I'm holding cover for them. Oh, there they are. Might get pushed in the back, too. Holding for a second. My team has to push up. I'm going to nade this side, and then I'm going to shoot left. Run into that. Oh, that's unfortunate. I'm going to bat, and then I'll push. What I'm going to do is I'm going to queue over to the teammate over here. Never mind, he didn't push forward, so I'm going to hold for a second. I'm going to wide swing a little right here. He's climbing up, so I'm going to push. Nice. Awareness of teammates is key. See how I just deciphered? I'm going to move up. I got to move up. I got to move up. Got it. All right, holding for him. I'm going to queue back. I'm going to watch our backs now. Right here. Holding this part. You see how like I keep half cover? Just hold for a second. Make sure we're not getting run up on. I always feel like that's a kindness that you can do for your teammates. Okay, there we go. Something's going on over there. I'm going to loot this real quick. All right, back up. Is to watch from. You don't. If you have guns and you're pretty much good, you don't need to just keep worrying about loot consistently. Need to practice on this glass pad. It's driving me nuts. Come on, I can land these. 50. Come on, one more. No. Ah, killing myself here today. I mean, any one of those shots could have landed, and that would have been our opening right there. You know. Dude, what am I doing today? Fighting another team in front. I think. This is a dumb push, but my teammate is nearby. Running. Got one. At least my mouse isn't spinning out. The server's just very strange. Yep. Knocked one in that building. The conduit ran from another team. Be with you in 2 seconds. Alright, I'm gonna queue up to the roof. Screw it. Actually, I'm gonna go to this one right here. Oh, gosh. Oh, I screwed up. No, he's inside. It's the last one. Last one. That was really bad on my part, but... I think it's just a Pathfinder alive. Yeah, it's just Pathfinder. Oh, nice. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. He's not gonna know. Dead, but there's another team. Alright, that was a little sloppy, I won't lie. So the things that I could have covered, I didn't have to drop there. Those mistakes are going to happen. We're watching height again. Evac is, yeah, this zone hurts. Yeah, let's go, zone hurts. I could use some loot, but this zone actually hurts. Awareness in zone. Once you see 3 to 4, you got to book it in. You don't have a choice. Realistically, if the fight was smoother, then I would have my resources. So if you're looking back at the VOD and saying, what could we have done differently? I mean, going down is like one of the worst things that could possibly happen. Yeah, we won the fight, but you never really want to go down. So if you're thinking about a push and it ends in you going down, then, oh, wow, hello. Then it's not a good push. You want fights to be fast, clean, and efficient as possible. Within reason. I mean, sometimes you know, it's not always going to be perfect. One squad dead. Another squad dead. They're rezzing. What the heck was going on over here? Alright, and this is our loot. This is our loot now. Look at this. This is where you get all... This is pretty much... If you need resources, this is where the third party happened. The other fight could have been cleaner. We could have been here sooner. Right? Always think about where time is. Think of how the Apex really plays out. It's like, no matter what, the round is always going to end at a certain predetermined time, right? How you fill up your time is monumental. So if you fill up your time just not shooting your gun or all you're doing is looting, then you're not really playing effectively. Now we have an edge. We know there's 4 squads remaining, and then all we got to do is start looking and just find opportunities, and that's it. I mean, I could use maybe a couple more bats. I need grenades more than anything, but I didn't see any grenades unless I'm crazy. Mozams are broken, especially if they're gold, so I'm going to take those, and then I need to stop looting and start looking. There's a grenade, that's what I need, and then we're pretty much good to go. Grab that, and then last look. Done. Go! Yeah, we're just going, we're going. I need to queue up. It's ideal not to use your utility to try to catch up, but sometimes when it is zoned, then yeah, use your utility. If you tend to fall behind, using your utility to catch up is just bad because then you don't have it for later. Now, if you play a legend like Vantage where the Q comes up pretty often, then sure, I guess you can kind of go a little crazy with your tacticals. It's not a bad thing. But now we have her back. We heard a fight going over on the far right already, so we know that's 2 teams. We just need to keep aware for the last one, and then it's pretty much the end of the game, essentially. Solo. Oh, they're so low. Full team. Hello? Oh gosh, it's a Vantage. I didn't realize. Sorry. Well, the team on the left is a bigger threat. This team is actually a bigger threat. This team is a solo, and they could wrap around, but realistically, they're just going to go chase the rat that way. So coming up with a game plan and guessing is also really, really good, even if your guess is wrong. All right, this person's already shot about 4 or 5 bullets, so once I start sniping, then GG's. 50. Starting to feel a little more comfortable finally on this class pad. I just switched it out last night, so that's the unfortunate part. You gotta give yourself a little wiggle room. Even if you change a mouse, one thing, a controller, okay, so you're gonna give me a hard time over there. That's unfortunate. So now change the plan. We had one plan, we need to go all the way over here now. This team is no longer the biggest threat because we gotta move in. This team is now the bigger threat. Oh gosh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, you queue back, that's fine. Oh my gosh. You're just giving me a hard time, huh? Okay, well, that doesn't give us many options. We might have to play the low ground instead, to be honest. Just hold. Alright, I'm gonna bat to be safe. But now we got a 3v2. We slowed it down. If we clear this edge, this is great for us. When we push in, we got the advantage. We just gotta wait for the right moment. Okay, well, that's not the right moment. I'm ready to shove after this bat. Unless you want to rotate. It was 3v2. We can go underneath. We can queue around them. We can queue up on them. It's another option. We just gotta get him out. This fight's taking way too long. I'm ready when you are, Horizon, if you want to push. Or we can hold either one. Another team behind, just hold, play safe. Oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh. The duo is that way. Shoot. That's unfortunate. I dropped, just heads up, I dropped. But I did crank the duo. Accident, cancel my battery, I'm sorry. That was a misclick. Okay, well she's down below with me, so we got a duo versus a trio. We got a little sandwiched here. We can wait again. I'm gonna use this to avoid the ult. Oh, it still hit me. Unfortunate. I don't know if he can drop off the side, can he? Well, I'm gonna try climbing up this way. Unfortunately, there wasn't a whole lot of spectating this round, but that's what we have too, right? A lot of tips. This was the trio. This is a trio. The duo's on the left. Careful. Let's hold underneath. I'm gonna hold Moby. We're just gonna have to hold. If they're gonna push us, they're gonna have to just wide swing us, essentially. It's a duo versus trio, so realistically we need to focus the trio. We need to put more pressure on the trio on that side. I mean, we just wait. If they fight, then we're good. As long as they don't drop on us. I'm gonna hold the grenade. It'd be really dumb to go for a battery. Want to see something dumb, guys? Let's take this out. Check this out. Ready? I didn't craft his banner because we don't have a Moby anyways. He's got heaters. I saw earlier. Otherwise, yes, I would have crafted his banner. So don't judge me, please. Could Skynade, but I'm going to wait to the very end. All we got to do is wait. What we got to do is really wait until we see a knock. See if that'll... Oh gosh. No, I screwed it up. Sorry, bad nade. Somebody who's better at nades is going to be like, that. We knew that was going to fail. That was embarrassing. Oh, ready. No. Got you, knock. Only res if you think you can. Just play you, though. It's above you, above you. He's going up. Oh, good try, good try. We go again. Maybe I should have held height. Always, you know, hindsight 2020. Instead of dropping down, probably could have had a better angle. Could have supported the team better from up there. But I mean, hey, I think we did pretty decent there. Oh no! I forgot the requeue feature. I should have watched to the end. Everyone comment down below. Judge me hard. That was embarrassing. I forgot the requeue feature. I forgot it happened so fast. We get to see the ending. No! Comment down below that I'm a horrible content creator to right now. No! Oh man, why did I press requeue? I always think it takes so long. I was like, oh, it's gonna take forever. I'm gonna watch. That was really fast. Wow. Wow. You guys are gonna you're gonna hate me. Please don't hate me. I'm sorry. Oh no. Well, let's recap. So make sure you know the teams around you. The very start, I mean, just get weapons. Don't get too, I mean, we got a lot of kills there at the end, right? Play patient. Patience is really key. Focus on who is the bigger threat. I think we lost focus on who the bigger threat was for a minute there when we saw the duo versus the trio. And we knew the trio was on the other side, but we kind of just got stuck right in the middle. If we just played patient, honestly, we just held the bottom, we would have been fine. There really was no reason. I guess I incentivized my team as well. Way too much to go up and push. I knew what I wanted to do was to close out the duo, which we should have done much sooner, but it just didn't happen. So slowing down, that's where you have to realize, okay, where do I slow down by watching what my teammates are doing and just having that better sense. So let's see if we get eliminated right off the drop here. That'd be kind of cool. I know that I don't think anybody's really said that. Like, I can't wait till I get eliminated. But I do kind of want to see if this next part is more spectating. I guess I'd be kind of disappointed if I'm not doing as much spectating this round. But I think there was a lot of tips, and then there was a lot here from what you saw, especially like being aware, taking height. There was mistakes. There's always mistakes, and you're gonna make mistakes, but you have to be willing to embrace them, to try something. If you don't try anything, you never learn, and that's one of the biggest mistakes I see everyone do, is that there's like a fear. Like, what's the worst thing gonna happen? Like, your teammates are gonna yell at you because you tried? If there's a genuine try, there's no reason to ever be mad at your teammates. Like, let's say you had the advantage. Like, think it logically, okay? Let's put you in this scenario. Let's say you did over 150 damage and you almost knocked one that had blue armor, and you push in and you almost secure it, but you do go down ultimately. Then it's unfortunate. Stuff happens. Let's see if we can limit it here. I'm not going to say I'm throwing, but I didn't look around. That's another mistake. I didn't look around to see how many teams are even here. Second floor then. Third floor then. Gotta look around. Where is he? The new team. New team running up. Careful, careful. All three there. All three there. Oh, I do need guns. Might as well just make it work. Let's fight. Are they fighting the rat? I realistically should not have been shooting the rat. Why? Because I just wasted my bullets. But I got greedy, okay? I got a no-reg there. That was crazy. I'm moving in. Just screw it. If we die, we die. Yep. We're getting thirded. We're getting thirded. I'm being greedy just because it's kind of the end right here. Who are you? Probably the part of the other team. Don't requeue. I'm not requeuing. So I'm not gonna lie. I did semi-throw there because I want to spectate. Okay, please don't get mad at me, my teammates. I definitely could have ran because I had the banners. Okay, I'm sorry. Like I do want to spectate. This is a whole new team. I think even if I ran, I mean, yeah, I could have run. So at that moment, you need to know when to disengage. And I won't lie. Please don't hate me, everybody. Okay, but like we did. This is spectating, so we should spectate. So this is a lot happening. One of the biggest mistakes I did off drop is I didn't even look around. And I don't think my teammates did because we knew that there was going to be multiple teams here. So if you look at the map and we know like Galleria probably had somebody, and if we knew Team Land Energy Bank were fighting, what's going to happen? You're going to get thirded. Okay. That's just the biggest tip and advice there. I stayed too long trying to eliminate somebody. I knew that I was being greedy, so don't do what I did there, okay? That's a perfect example of what not to do. But I did it because I was like, part of me was like, do I get eliminated? So like, okay, don't hate me, okay? Like my teammates are gonna be like, I can't believe Daz just threw that. They're gonna come by and comment on this video because it's gonna have 500 views. I'm gonna cry because my channel's dying. It's not really dying, I'm just joking. Maybe crying, maybe not, I don't really know. Either way, I'm super ecstatic. I'm super pumped. So this team, 14 squads remaining. The zone is closing. This is where you have to have the idea. A lot of people start running to the center zone, but if you start working your way around and they have a recon legend, so they could go here and then know where they're at or hit this recon and then boom, you're kind of set. Recon, because they're everywhere, you need to kind of add it into your rotation if you have that legend. If you don't, then it's still good to kind of just work your way around rather than running. If you could run to the center, if you have, let's say, an anchor legend, okay? Let's take a look. So yeah, if you were to fight this, that's pretty isolated. And if you go all the way up here, that's pretty isolated as well. But you get second pair of eyes right here just by knowing, right? And they're everywhere. So you can kind of add this into your rotation, how you improve and how you know what fights to take. Because everyone asks the questions, how do I know what fight to take? Well, I mean, if you clear your backs right here, then you know you're pretty much safe, and that's not a bad spot to be in whatsoever. Or if you go over here, then what's the worst case scenario? One of these teams push, but you got to be efficient. You'll notice that some of the other fights that we did earlier were just not efficient. It took way too long. We got eliminated. We got knocks on our end. And granted, I went in. It could have been a little better. I had some moments of like, oh my gosh, I was really sick. But know when you need to just essentially get out. Now, I was going to use another word, pull out, but then I'm going to get like 30 comments saying, I can't believe you said that, right? Or what does that mean? And I'm not going to explain what it means. You can ask somebody else what it means. But so that's just another really great tip. Just have a good sense of rotation. And if you don't have a recon legend, you can choose those anchor spots on where you're going to hold. Okay, so this tells you something, right? So we know that this team rotated here. We know that Lotus is going to hear this potentially. And most people always forget that different guns have different audio radiuses. So if you're using a sniper, it has a larger radius in which it can be heard than other guns, or a DMR versus, let's say, an SMG. Right? So far, there's been equal damage on both sides. They almost got cracked, so this fight has lost essentially most of its value. When we say has a fight lost its value, we're pretty much saying, is it a waste of resources, and what positioning are you gaining? So now you know there's another team here, and you know there's another team in area. You could technically hold this because you have a caustic. That's not a bad thing to hold. You're kind of towards the center of zone, but you do want to focus on who's the bigger threat. The team on the left side has done a lot more damage to them. Specifically, and maybe this is actually the same team. I don't think they got an alert for another team here, but they're making a lot of noise, and because they're making a lot of noise, you got to have this internal clock. I think everyone can kind of feel out the internal clock whenever it's taking too long. And if you're asking, well, how do I speed up a fight? I'm gonna be honest, you got to land more damage. If you can't land more damage, then I always say, then why are you playing this game? Essentially, it's an FPS game. This is a really ballsy decision. My gosh. But I mean, they do notice that they're isolated, so it kind of makes sense. Isolating an opponent out is pretty huge. If they can get this knock, they got to get it like right now. Like now. Now. Get the knock. Get the knock. Get. Okay, that was a little messy. That was like 3v1 there for a second. Okay, you got that. You win those. You never go chase them. Chase. Don't let him go. You can't let him go. Oh man, that was really, really messy. But I guess you can use Valkyrie like a scam, which is really interesting that we saw it here, because they isolated somebody out from the group, right? They knew that there was other people outside the building. They went into the building. They pretty much shoved them, and they got their win. It was very messy, very, very messy, but it did work. I'm just kind of curious on the prior damage if I'm able to see it. Okay, we did. I just want to make sure I didn't throw too hard. You know what I mean? Now nobody's looking. Let's see. Is anybody looking at the roof? Okay, so hold the roof of the building, and if you're caustic, you should be throwing barrels immediately, assuming that another team is going to roll up, okay? You got to play this for this team, for the squad, right? You need to look for information of is somebody running up, who's nearby, where is zone, just all those things, because you can pull away your utility as a controller legend now. So even if you throw down the barrels and you say we're rotating right away, it's good to have them up to just slow down just in case another team were to roll up. I think this was actually just one split team that was playing all together, but it was pretty... Honestly, if they saw that person take the evac, they should have shoved them if that person was by themselves. And that's just another major tip that you can have as well. This team is kill leader, so they got a lot of the eliminations. There they go. Valkyrie is really great for rotation now. And if you're asking what legends are meta, don't really worry about meta. Play to your strengths, okay? Play to your strengths as a squad. And if you enjoy Valkyrie, that's a great legend to play now because you get the extra scans. If you don't like a legend, then you're the one that has to play this game. Early on, from anywhere from silver to platinum, you can pretty much play anybody. And you can hit masters if you have the skill set and you have good positioning and strong awareness of where your teammates are, then you can play just about anything. I promise you. I promise you if you're watching this, you don't have to play something you don't like. Okay, so that person was in the back. They're kind of staying out in the open. There's no cover here. And they're ulting right in the middle of... So that's why they're getting eliminated. So essentially, they could have used the back cover. They could have slid up before they popped their ult. The ult was good to slow enemy team down, but they just stood out in the open, which is a big mistake. You can't stand out in the open unless you're ego challenging. At that point, instead of the ult, I would have actually preferred that the player just shoot out in the open and just put their ego out there and say, I'm much better. Because it looks like they did do some damage, but now they don't have height to get up there except for the Valkyrie. If the Valkyrie goes, she's low HP. Effectively, she has white armor. And of course, they have a Revenant to worry about. That's good. Isolate, very good damage. At this point, they could commit to it. A little bit of a panic and hesitation. If anything, you might as well just go for that person or get out. I mean, they're choosing to get out, which is fine. I think they get hit right here. I think that's it. Nope, they're gonna go for the reset there. It was a little messy. The standing out in the open is really rough. Always make sure you're going from cover to cover. If you're playing like football, make sure you're going from one line yard to another, right? You don't ever want to just be caught right in the middle of it. You want to keep moving the line forward so it doesn't feel like you're just in an open space. If you ever feel like you're in an open space and it isn't good positioning. So even though you say like, okay, well, they're traversing and just looking at different angles, just make sure the angle that you're looking at just isn't standing up blatantly out in the open because that's just going to get you eliminated. And it's going to put you in a rough spot. And if you happen to be in a rough spot, you pretty much need to stand your ground and do as much damage as possible. The panic ults, I see this happen a lot with Fuse. I see it happen with the Conduit. I see it a lot where everyone says, well, I'm just going to throw my ult. Well, fine, but imagine instead of throwing out the ult, that even if this person was only able to shoot their gun for 4 bullets, and they landed 4 bullets, that's still at least like 60 damage or 50, depending on the gun that you're loading out. Or even if you took 2 shots with a sniper, at least that's 100, or maybe you've only landed 1, that's 55 damage. You see where I'm getting at here? Granted, they got the reset, but you don't want to rely on luck and getting out of a fight. And also, who is a bigger threat? Technically, they had the crossfire and the individuals down below. Instead of the Revenant is a threat, but at the same time, focus fire. Focus on what your teammates are blasting at to eliminate somebody faster. So you're not just doing split damage, right? That's another thing. You'll see that in the last fight. So they get the res here. There is a high probability that they're going to come back just fine, but they're going to come back with low resources. They do have the bin on the left, which is great. But the downside is, realistically, with that bin, I mean, most people usually go for it. So hopefully they get it. Maybe they get themselves a nice Kraber out of it. Now, as a good teammate, instead of just going for the loot, what they should be doing is looking. Looking for information is key right here. You need to have information on a fight, but there's no looking. If somebody was going to shoot down from above them right now, this Valkyrie has no idea. And granted, there is shots, so technically the Valkyrie should be going towards it instead. You know, instead of worrying about loot. Because, I mean, your goal is to do damage and get stuff. I know that loot is important, ladies and gentlemen. I understand that. But at the same time, you can't just be doing this all day. You know, you got to be comfortable with what you got at some point. And the fact that they're passing up that bow check is crazy to me. Okay, they were saving it for the teammate. But this is a lot of time, and they lost a lot of information. Let's say they tell their teammate, go for the bin. I'm going to go secure some damage first and play a little selflessly. There's 2 differences between selfish and selflessly. The selfish way is, you know, not watching for your teammates and going for the loot for yourself first. The way you should play selfish is, like, say, for example, instead of running out in the open and going for res, you use your teammate as a meat shield, and then you bait the enemy out and play selfishly, play for your own life. You don't just go out. I always say this, just because your teammate does a dumb thing doesn't mean you have to do something dumb as well. I find this very strange that they're kind of holding this area because this is not end here and they don't see the zone here. Playing for zone is important, even if you're playing for edge of zone, especially 3 to 4. I know that they're trying to loot and everything, but at some point, you got to just be confident what you got and move on. You get your stuff from eliminating other teams, okay? And if you can't eliminate another team, then you got other problems. Maybe your positioning's bad. Maybe you're late to zone, because the problem is, what if there's a team waiting for them right here? Let's see what happens. Let's see if that actually happens. But that's another great tip. You know, getting gated is probably one of the most annoying things that can happen, because you're fighting the zone instead. And they may get lucky here, honestly. There could be, because I heard shots to the right. Maybe they cleaned up, but they have no idea this team is here. Yeah, they're getting very lucky. Now, based on the number of squads, I mean, if there was 10 squads, the likelihood of being gated is increased. If there's only 5 squads, then the likelihood of being gated the zone is pretty low. It's not too bad. Now, let's see what they do. Okay, they're going to fly. Which you can play a lot more edge with Valkyrie. There is that benefit. 1 on height. These end zones when it comes to this. Okay, so you got 2 on height, 1 on the edge. Gosh, Valkyrie being able to see through just everything is huge. And you got 1 rezzing. So they're going to hold this building. I mean, they got nothing to worry about. They got a whole building to themselves. There really isn't anything to push. And so you start asking, when do you stop pushing? It's like, well, once you know that the teams are within earshot. So this is where things start to slow down, unless you can get a quick opening and your team is very efficient. I'm not saying pushing those teams is bad. I'm only saying that if you don't think you can be efficient and doing it quickly, then it is bad. And when you're playing with randoms, and the likelihood of going in there and cleaning up that efficiently, it just drops significantly, right? So let's say that they do manage to get significant damage to get a knock. They would need to just pretty much bombard it and go as fast as possible and clean up, then drop shields and make sure that nobody got knocked, and then hold the roof and look. That's their key right now. I also encourage this team to go to as much height as possible to make sure they don't get bullied. They know that there was teams on the other roofs, right? When we look at our cursor, we know there was here and here, but there was nobody here. So realistically, they could go up and they'd be fine. I always say that because you want to have information. Right now, from this point of view, we have no idea what's happening. We have no idea. We have no clue of what's actually going on in this lobby. It's actually crazy. Like, I don't know if that team left the roof. We don't know where the other team rotated. We do know that a team rezzed and they got it for free. So go look. Understand what the lobby is. This is also a strange decision. I know Valkyrie can do this, but what if they started shooting and you're just late? It's kind of a strange decision. I get it, maybe taking an off angle and stuff. It's a little late, but they finally did it. But imagine all this time. Now they can hit recon again, right? There's value. There's value to be gained. Okay, so they got a team, looks like, from underneath. Got the team across the way. Oh, somebody's zipping up. They just got to watch. They need to hold the backside of this and just poke at range and put pressure on this team, because this team is just not out in the open like this. So I would say back up a little bit. Yeah, use the tree right here. That's also helpful. That can help. But back up just a little bit more, and then use, yeah, proper cover instead of just shooting out in the open. You can use the bin in the back. Even if you were to take height a little bit and then back up from the height, you know, the little section in the middle. Let's see if I can point it out with my cursor. See it here? That right there could be helpful, but in like your version of it, and then backing up and just putting pressure and then maintaining it. And if you lose it, then back up, right? It's just, I always feel like a lot of people don't know where to play and they get confused. Like this is good. There you go. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's better, you know? At least you're using something. I guess the best thing you got is really like just keeping yourself small. Also using barrels. That's actually pretty smart too. Using barrels, you know, just putting them in areas and hiding behind the barrels. And then if they hit him, that's fine. Oh, another one, use the bin down underneath. That's also pretty big. You go in the underneath area. That could be some interesting cover there too. But using cover, I mean, this is more like they're going to have the same issue as you. So you just got to be sure to utilize that as best as possible so then you can win in these encounters. Your goal is to pretty much tell other teams bluntly to F off, quote unquote. That's your goal. You want other teams to be respectful of your space. If you don't show any space or show any presence, then they just walk up for free. 1, because they don't even know if somebody is there. And then 2, because they feel like, oh, they're not doing anything. Being very aware of who's shooting is also key here. This is a lot of unnecessary damage taken. It's not even peaking yet. Okay, now I can justify it because you're peaking, but if you're just getting hit for free and taking a lot of unnecessary damage, then there's not really much of a benefit there. We still got 4 squads. We're holding pretty strong here. They have a pretty high probability of winning this. All they got to do is play patiently. I think that the resources have to be low because this Valkyrie has not topped off. That's another thing. You can ask your teammate for resources. One thing that people are afraid to do is asking teammates for what they need. Listen, if you want your team to succeed, you need to have even your weakest link having something and topping off. Having somebody being that low, especially the fact that people can see your health pools now, is not good because they're going to say, oh, this person hasn't healed. The resources are low. And that is information, ladies and gentlemen. That means that this team that you're fighting just isn't strong or isn't confident. If you don't have a lot of resources, you show presence, but then you just hold and don't peek a lot. right? Now that team is pressured off, they need to put as much pressure on them as possible. They have a high probability of winning. I think it's going to pull to the north side, if I'm guessing. Either inside the building, like it could pull out here, because I don't think it'll pull inside, right? Yeah, like right here. That's fine. It's going to pull outside the building. So inside the building is fine until the last minute. Nobody's going to really fight at the end here. There really is no reason. They probably could have caught that team rotating. That's another thing. That's another tip. Who has the weakest positioning based on the zone closure? You don't focus the bottom team because you know they're not going to push up and they don't have any pressure. This team over here, it was like a lost opportunity of like doing good damage on them. That person just stood out in the open. I mean, they didn't even try to like... They tried shooting back for a second. Oh, very nice. Is that a finish from both of them? It looks like it. Gas really slowed them up. Let's hopefully they don't get too trigger happy. Wow, everyone's just kind of shoving them out in the open versus a Caustic. Caustic needs to heal right away, which he is. Popping a Phoenix. They win this. They should win. They statistically have the height and they can see everything. They should win this, in theory. Now, the reason I say in theory is because, I mean, realistically, they could just hard throw. What they should do is control the outside and then barrel them in with caustic barrels and control that space. That's what I would recommend that they would start doing. And controlling space is key. I don't know how much of this is in. Is that I need to see the roof. I don't have that part memorized per se. Because I think that this is just an open area. Like, put barrels here and then block them inside. Because they're going to stay stuffed inside and you want them to be inside. Yeah, hold the root. Like, yeah, hold that spot right there. And then barrel them in. But they should have done it. They're a little late. Because what if the team plays on the outside now and they control that area? It's not risky because at this point they should just start controlling that area. Now, maybe the team holds height on them. Maybe. That's why you have one person like a Valkyrie holding this area, but realistically, the Caustics should start gating them as much as possible before they realize that they're going to get stuck. Yeah, they're already on the outside. They kind of lost that opportunity. So they need to hold that roof right there on the right, and they should have already been there, to be honest. They're already holding that space. That's not going to do anything. They see the gen. I don't really know what those grenades are for. This is a lot of utility burn. This is another tip. Do not burn utility for no reason. Those grenades are very helpful for the end. They just wasted they wasted so much utility. Now, once they take out the gen, they should throw it and they find an opportunity, then drop. But they're essentially just wasting all of this time, and it's very unfortunate. And now, once they take this out, wow, that person just jumped. Okay, all right, well, like I said, in theory, that was very unfortunate. I think this team could have won. Like, at this point, then you start throwing grenades, and then you put all that pressure on them. Granted, they have height, but the odds of them winning are, I guess they have caustic barrels, right? Wow, they actually won. Wow, I can't believe that team didn't win. That's crazy. They really had the advantage there. I wonder what went wrong. This team, in theory, should have won, though. I'm gonna be very honest. They should have always have won, and so the fact that they lost somebody and was so risky, and the fact that they wasted so many grenades, make sure to hold utility until it's absolutely necessary. Grenades should be only used to flush people out, to take better positioning. After you've done your damage, be sure you shoot your gun first, and then you can start using utility afterwards, because that's when you can pull people out. You can start using horizontal. I think some of the mistakes is that, granted, if they're hiding behind a cover, you can use horizontal, but at the same time, like, you don't want to use that, waste that utility, have them blast it out, and it does absolutely nothing. Because that's the whole reason you have utility. If you enjoyed this episode, this was tons of tips, lots of commentary. It was nice to be back with this. Hopefully you guys kind of missed it. It's been a hot minute. Maybe we should do another one again much sooner. But I appreciate you guys for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you all in the next one. Thank you guys so much. Bye.